So I just looked up Jerome Cox, who is Henry Cox's and James Cox's. So Henry Cox's brother and James Cox's other son. So Henry Cox, the one who offed himself, is the DCF guy, worked for DCF, and his dad was Santa, who worked at the Catholic school where the daughter-in-law was the principal. Now find out her husband is Jerome Cox, who is the warden. And I looked this up, like he's like got like it it tells you everything, like supervisor, and then the assistant warden. And here you go, it says he was the assistant warden for the Department of Corrections. Now, somebody had come out to me and said she knew the name Maura O'Toole looked familiar, so here's where the story takes a big turn. And she's like, she thinks I'm onto something with the whole James and Stefan being connected. But she's an ex-officer for the Florida Department of Corrections. She worked under a man named Jerome Cox. She says he always rubbed me the wrong way, like I knew there was something very off about him. He would always mention his daughter. He said the daughter was his princess and whatever she wanted, she got. Jerome Cox was the assistant warden of Okeechobee CI when I left in August 2020. I'm not sure if he still is, but Jerome Cox is Maura O'Toole Cox's husband, and Jerome Cox is also Henry Cox's brother. So we got pictures of Santa Claus on Jerome Cox's page, so we know that yes, they are indeed related. And this is Jerome Cox with Henry Cox. So you got Maura Cox, who's the principal of schools. You got correction officer wardens. You got Henry Cox, who worked for DCF. I mean, this shit is so fucking deep. It's not even funny. I told y'all from the get-go, this shit's fucking big. So let's take a look at that map again. This is where Stefan Stern left his house. This is Madeline Soto's memorial. This is supposedly where he got the flat tire. This is the school, the STA Catholic school. And this is James Cox's house. So I don't know how many puzzle pieces y'all need before you start to see the picture, but we getting real close to having this whole thing fucking finished. I knew when I heard the Friends interview and the Friends were like a shared folder. Right from that point, I was like, this is bigger than we think. They're sharing photos. This is a fucking ring.
She would have known to wait for me at the school.
I went to work and came back. She was at James' house or
the house on Countryside View Drive, targeting James and Henry Cox after getting a tip that child porn was being uploaded from here. In an earlier raid, St. Cloud police allegedly found several hard drives with videos and images of kids being sexually abused and hidden cameras used to record kids going to the bathroom and changing clothes. Investigators even say, quote, at one point in a video, the camera pans across a mirror showing H. Cox as the one recording the video file. Complaint also says at least two of the victims appear to live in Cox's neighborhood.
So I just want to take a screenshot here. Did you guys see this? As they're saying, several hard drives were recovered from the house. That's a lot of fucking hard drives. That's a lot of computer equipment right there in that thing that they've got. How many phones did they get? I mean, they're taking all kinds of stuff out of this house. And did you see Jen Soto reaction when they asked about James in the interview? She went from being somewhat still to shaking like a leaf. And I know that she was shaking throughout the whole time, but there was parts where she wasn't quite as shaky. But when they mentioned James, oh boy.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house. Maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one weekend. Maybe she went back there.
And she didn't just start shaking. That was like a gulp, you could see the fucking spit going down her throat. That was a huge gulp. That was like a oh shit gulp. Yeah, that girl's body language is completely giving her away. How many of y'all caught that one? This shit is fucking deep, y'all. Deep.